Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. CeeDee Lamb reveals what he told Dak Prescott in Cowboys win over Steelers. The Dallas Cowboys' Week 5 victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers wasn't always pretty. For quarterback Dak Prescott, it was nearly a night to forget before it became a memorable finish. Prescott threw 2 interceptions, with the first coming on what appeared to be a miscommunication with CeeDee Lamb in the end zone. The second was in the fourth quarter, resulting in the Steelers taking a 17-13 lead with 4:56 remaining. However, when the Cowboys needed Prescott the most, the NFL's highest-paid player stepped up in a big way. After Pittsburgh's go-ahead touchdown, Prescott led the Cowboys on a 15-play, 70-yard game-winning drive that was capped off with a 4th-and-goal touchdown pass to Jalen Tolbert with 20 seconds remaining. After the game, Lamb revealed his message to Prescott while praising the signal caller, as The Athletic's John Machota detailed. "I told him, perseverance, that's all we need at QB," Lamb said. "He's the epitome of that, everything he's been able to overcome off the field and on the field." Prescott, who also lost a fumble in the game, left his mistakes in the rearview mirror and came through in the clutch, helping the Cowboys pick up a much-needed victory. He wrapped up the win with 352 passing yards on 29 of 42 attempts, with 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. The Cowboys moved to 3-2 on the season, and surprisingly, their 2 losses have both come at home, where they were 8-0 during the regular season last year. Dallas returns home in Week 6 to face the Detroit Lions, a rematch of last season's Week 17 meeting that featured a controversial ending. WR trades Cowboys should make after Brandon Cooks news. The Dallas Cowboys are officially back above the .500 mark after picking up a 20-17 victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday Night Football. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows this weekend, though, as the Cowboys placed number 2 wide receiver Brandon Cooks on the injured reserve with a knee injury, sidelining him for at least 4 games. Even though Cooks hasn't been having the best season, his absence will be felt in a Cowboys passing attack that was already struggling to produce. Fortunately, there's just under a month to go before this year's NFL trade deadline, giving Jerry Jones enough time to add another wideout to Dak Prescott's arsenal. Here are 4 wide receivers the Cowboys should target following the Cooks injury news. On October 4, the Washington Post's Jason La Canfora reported that the Jacksonville Jaguars have received trade interest regarding WR Christian Kirk. With the Jaguars off to a 1-4 start to the campaign, it makes sense that they'd be open to moving the 27-year-old, who signed through the 2025 season with an average cap hit of about $25.7 million. Having said that, if the Jaguars are open to moving Kirk, the Cowboys should be all over the opportunity. Kirk is a proven wideout who's racked up 5,054 receiving yards and 29 touchdown grabs on 398 receptions across 90 career games. The former Texas A&M product experienced a slow start to the 2024 season but has since turned things around with 19 catches for 228 yards and a touchdown in his last 3 games. There's also the fact that the Cowboys showed interest in Kirk's services before. Team insider Mike Fisher reported back in April 2020 that the franchise was interested in adding a slot receiver like Kirk. Given that little about Dallas management has changed since then, there's a possibility that something could still be there. If Kirk is open to restructuring his contract, the Cowboys shouldn't hesitate to make a play for him. He's exactly the type of veteran receiver that could get Mike McCarthy's offense back on track. Much like the Jaguars, the Tennessee Titans could be looking to move some players following an uninspiring 1-3 start to the season. One of the players who could draw a ton of interest is none other than 5-time Pro Bowl WR DeAndre Hopkins. Hopkins hasn't had the best quarterbacks to play with since signing a 2-year contract with the Titans in 2022. Still, that hasn't stopped him from finding a way to produce. The former 2013 first-rounder has managed to tally 85 receptions for 1,178 yards and 8 TDs across 21 games. Even if he's no longer in his prime, those are still solid WR2 numbers. Hopkins also made it clear last year that he wanted to be a Cowboy before signing with the Titans. The Cowboys reportedly didn't have interest in him at the time, considering that they had already acquired Cooks earlier that offseason. However, things may have changed given the franchise's current situation. A reliable pass catcher with over 12,000 yards and 79 TDs under his belt, Hopkins would easily be one of the best wideouts to play with Prescott. He's also on an expiring contract with a $18.3 million cap hit that lowers by the week, meaning the Cowboys don't have to commit long-term if they acquire him. The Dallas Cowboys are 2-2 heading into Week 5. They are set to travel and play the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday Night Football. Even though they are sitting at .500, the Cowboys roster still needs some help. Dallas' running attack has been non-existent, which means there's more pressure on Dak Prescott and the passing game. The Cowboys' wide receiver core took a hit when Brandon Cooks underwent knee surgery this week. He's now expected to miss a few weeks, but Dallas doesn't have time to wait. Las Vegas receiver Davante Adams has officially asked to be traded. That put multiple teams into a frenzy to acquire him, so Tashan Reed and the Athletic NFL staff created trade packages and included the Cowboys on the list. Cowboys must trade for this elite pass rusher after Marshawn Kneyland injury. The Dallas Cowboys came away with an impressive win on the road against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday night, but fans are finding it difficult to celebrate as injuries pile up. The Cowboys were already missing Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, Kalen Carson, and Darren Bland on the defensive end of the ball heading into the game. Early in the first quarter, they lost prized rookie Marshawn Kneyland, who was carted off with a knee injury. Kneyland wasn't able to put much weight on his right leg and didn't make a return to the game. Carl Lawson and Tyrus Wheat saw an extended run in the absence of the defensive ends and held their own to escape with the win. Cowboys rookie D. Marshawn Kneyland with an apparent right knee injury. He couldn't put much pressure on his right leg as he was helped to the injury tent. However, the Cowboys must add more quality and depth to its pass rush rotation. Lawrence is on the injured reserve list and Sam Williams is already set to miss the entire year. How long Kneyland will be out remains to be seen, but Dallas is running out of bodies in the defensive end room. Fortunately for them, there is one name on the trade block that they could easily acquire to solve all their pass rush woes. Haason Reddick, who was traded to the New York Jets in the offseason, has yet to make his season debut as he awaits a contract extension. He has requested a trade before the season and isn't suiting up for the Jets anytime soon. The Jets will undoubtedly be open to trading the All-Pro defensive end at this point in the season. The Cowboys can bring him in with a mid-round draft pick. What complicates matters is Reddick's demand for a new contract and Jerry Jones' reluctance to add another high-salary player into the mix. If the sides can agree on a deal that works for both sides, it could be the type of deal that brings Dallas significantly closer to contention. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Haason Reddick? Leave your opinion in the comments.